Hey, this is Jared from Nintendo World Report. We are here with
Bob Raffi, the creative director on Sonic Boom.
Also
Michael Cole.
So we're really excited about the game. We just got a little hands-on time at the Nintendo booth. I guess you could tell us how's development going. Are things? How has it been so far?
It's been a long road, and we're so happy to finally be here at E3 2014 to have announced the game in February. So we're very excited to finally share with the world what we've been working with Sega and the bigger, broader family that includes a TV show and the toy line. So we're super excited. We're in the home stretch now. The announcement about the date, November 2014. So we are working very hard. Actually, a lot of people are back at the office today, making sure that we are getting ready for ship.
You mentioned working with the anime and the toy line. How does that influence game development? How is it difficult to do those tie-ins and time things and have those hooks? How does that change development from a standalone game?
The challenges for that are basically for the production value and consistency of the world. This was a bigger play that Sega had been developing for years before we came on the scene. They had been looking to do this grand approach. So when we started working on the game, it was very important to make sure that everything lived in the same consistent universe. So the look that we were developing, the TV series really liked it and they adopted it, and the toy people as well. So it became a very easy thing to do in terms of a consistent world. However, then we had to go back and make sure that the consistency worked for both mediums in terms of the character personalities for the TV show, and also they were also consistent for the game as well. So the main aspect that we're very excited about is giving the other three characters their own personalities, to making them just as strong. That kind of personality permeates in the mechanics. Knuckles is the big bruiser fighter. When you see that with his new silhouette, Knuckles is all about speed. Sonic is all about speed, obviously. So his fighting moves are all about speed, and he's the fastest. And the personalities also came across in terms of the banter, which was important for the game. We wanted to have the consistency of how they were treated for the TV show, which is action adventure, but also situational comedy. There's a lot more gags in a TV show. For us, the medium is different because we have a 8 to 12 hour, depending on your speed of playing, character adventure. So how you see the game versus having that long through line of an action adventure story versus their 10-minute episodic approach for what they need for a TV show with the syndication, where they have to be able to play out of order. So there is no massive storyline for the TV show, where there is a massive storyline for the game. So that was the two challenges. Beyond that, having the collaboration that was guided primarily by the Sonic team in terms of giving us a lot of feedback on what works within the universe and what doesn't. Even though we're taking a different approach with the franchise, it was really instrumental for both the TV show and for the game to have their feedback. We did a lot of things that were outside of what you would expect from a Sonic game, and they would rein us in on some things and very open-minded on other things. So it was a great collaborative process.
Talking about things that you may not expect in a Sonic game, there's actually, from what I play, there's a bigger emphasis on kind of a brawler mechanic in this, and it seems like you put a lot of thought into it. Could you describe some of the different brawling mechanics, maybe the different characters, and your approach in this game?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was definitely a emphasis for us. Because, again, we want a cooperative experience. The challenge is, if you're playing Sonic, he just runs off, and what do the rest of the characters do? So the answer for us was to elevate to combat. And we had to do it very carefully because it's so new to the franchise. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny, a lot of raised eyebrows. You don't really associate Sonic with combat. So we want to make sure that player expression was first and foremost satisfied. And that comes through the many different ways you can approach the environment and the combat. So each character has their special moves. Sonic has his homing target, air dash, and that dashing also works on the ground as well. Knuckles has his burrow. he is the most powerful. So if you like to get the fighting over with a few punches, Knuckles is the guy you're going to gravitate towards, but he's a bit slower. So he's the opposite in terms of speed of Sonic. And then Tails is a gadget guy, so he's all about his fireworks and using distance to take care of his enemies. So if you don't like to get close and personal with combat, then you'll probably gravitate towards Tails. And Amy is very agile. With her hammer move, she can clear the room, so she's more of a crowd control, and she's the only one that has triple jump. So it was important to have the same button mechanics, but that convey to the characters' personalities again, which is you start to see the theme happening here. To have the pick up and play attributes, so that way each character feels very individualized, but very consistent with the rest of them. And it was important that the rest of the 3 characters are just as compelling. So when Big Brother runs to the TV screen first and picks up the controllers, like, I've selected Sonic, the little brother's like, oh man, come on. So it was very important for us to give each of the characters a lot of personality, rich attributes for combat, and also to use a tether beam, the energy beam, for combat or navigation. You use it to navigate gaps, you use it to unlock things and puzzles. So that player expression was really important for us.
You guys very recently introduced a new female character into the Sonic universe. Yes, if you could tell us a little about how that came about, and also if the Japanese Sonic team was involved with her creation.
Yep, Styx was a amalgamation of all the different teams building her. It was one of the brainchilds of the TV show. They really wanted to have this additional character, and it got adopted for us in the game. We really liked her, and we were designing all the characters, so we took a stab at it, but Sonic Team actually took the first stab of, because it's going to be such a unique new character, they took the reins first, and for this character specifically, and they gave us a few sketches, and then we took it over from that point, and then all the different groups weighed in on what they needed for her in terms of personality, in terms of she's prominently featured in the 3DS game, so they need to make sure that she had the play mechanics that worked for them, and she became a secondary character for us. So that's a great example of all the different groups working together to come up with the final result.
Awesome. Another really important element, I feel, of all Sonic games is the music. I guess, could you tell us a little bit about who's doing the music for the game and how that's coming along?
Yes. The composer for that is Richard Jacques. Hope I'm not butchering his name. He has worked on Sonic games in the past, I believe, and music was definitely an important theme for us. We wanted to make sure that we had a character adventure feel to it. So it was very important that we identified moments of adventure, moments of combat and action, which are the fastest, most frenetic aspect of it, and then moments of taking a more of a relaxed approach, what you have in our hubs. What you're seeing in the show floor today are examples of the spoke levels, and those are more catered to 2 different characters, 2 characters at the same time. And that's where you have the more sense of epic adventure, and the composition that Richard is coming up with really is catered to the action and the theme of that environment. So it was important for us to have that dynamic score that kicks in when you're going to combat. It's a faster paced music that satisfied that. When you're in speed and run mode, it's a different kind of a tempo. And then when you're into exploration, it settles down a bit. So I'm glad you asked that, because we're very excited about the music that he's composing for us, and it was important that it feels like a rich action-adventure universe that we're building.
Very cool.
You mentioned hub worlds. Can you talk a little bit about that? Are we talking something like Sonic Adventure 1? What are we going there?
Really talking about hubs right now. I'll just give you a little flavor of it. I will tell you that we do have hubs. The spoke levels do come out of them, and hubs, like the boss rounds, are examples of where you get to play 4 characters, select from 4 characters at any given time. It's always 2 players at any given.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.